This week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Head on over to patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast and subscribe today. Fans, founders, and insiders like you help us keep the Run, Eat, Drink podcast going, and we thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Jeff Galloway.
Hi, this is Chef Art Smith.
I am Bart Yasso.
I am Marco Cicero.
This is Catherine Switzer, and you're listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Hey, welcome to episode 194 of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Welcome to the New Year's episode.
Happy New Year, everybody.
This week.
Coming up.
Yeah. Like this Friday.
It's really coming fast.
It is.
But if you're listening to this, that means that we are just coming off of the Christmas holiday.
Hope everybody had a great one.
For those who celebrated. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, if travel was in your plans, I hope that you were able to weather that storm, looking at what's been going on in the news with, travel cancellations and flights and all that. Just hectic. Absolutely hectic.
Well.
And hopefully the weather was good wherever you were at. I mean, we've been really suffering through a horrible winter here.
So rough.
I actually had to get out my 9-inch inseam shorts.
Wow.
My winter shorts.
Winter shorts.
I know there are people just cursing my name right now. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding, but
we hope
I'm just
everybody we hope everybody was safe and weathered the storm, no matter whether it was holiday stress, actual weather, or maybe it was just a nice, pleasant holiday.
Exactly. That's what we hope everybody had.
Yeah. This week, we thought, since it's the week of New Year's and we're transitioning from 2021 to 2022,
yes,
we would take a look back at some of our favorite and most heartfelt moments in running, our favorite bites, and also our favorite beverages from 2021.
Very nice. Yes, I like a little look back, a little, hey, you remember when?
Yeah.
And in spite of this not being a normal year, and
no,
I don't think for anybody that this is
not normal.
But in spite of that, right. I think that we found some real great moments. We did. In terms of running, in terms of food and beverage, I think that we found some real diamonds in the rough that were unexpected and really pleasantly surprised us. And I want to look back on those and, just kind of share those with everyone.
Well, I think it's appropriate that this year we brought the shoutout segment to our show because that's where I want to start.
Oh.
I want to start with a shout out to the entirety of the Runcation Nation, whether they have supported us virtually, met up with us in person, driven down here miles and miles to see us, as some patrons have this year.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Metal Chasers. I'm looking at you, Chief Executive #Officer.
Executive producer in charge of hashtags.
Josh.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I know. He is working. He's working on it. Yes. We've met up with Jessica at live races. We just got to meet up with JoJo. Mm-hmm. We have met up with Meg. We've met up with Running Through Wonderland Jen. We have met up with so many people, and we're so lucky. John Schroeder celebrated the end of my 75 hard journey. Mm-hmm. And it's it's the people, most of all, looking back at this year, that I am truly grateful for in our Runcation Nation, because in June, they delivered us a huge hug, both virtually and in person. In our gift basket, positive messages of love and support and celebration for our podcast anniversary, and support for us as we went through a really difficult time in the family.
Yeah, I was going to say very much the same thing. The incredible community that we've managed to forge during and in spite of everything else that's going on in the world, I think is a huge testament to the audience and to the Runcation Nation, and the willingness to be a part of our lives, both through the show and in real life, has been just tremendous. And the amount of love and support that we were shown during what is arguably one of the most difficult years that we've had personally, I think is just absolutely incredible. And that's, in spite of the members of the Runcation Nation themselves having difficulties this year, and just getting to meet some of them, not all of them, but some of them, in person was a wonderful thing. And I think that's going to be ultimately, the favorite thing of 2021.
It's true. It's so true. I mean, and I don't want to leave anybody out. I think that we met up with John. We've met up with a bunch of people, and we're looking to increase that next year. But and
if we didn't mention you by name, it is not because we didn't love meeting you. We're trying to keep it under a certain amount of time tonight.
Well, and it's also overwhelming emotionally, and sometimes.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but
things get foggy.
She's tearing up.
So I just have to say to everybody that we've mentioned by name and have not mentioned by name, you're in our hearts, you're in our minds, you're in our souls. We love you, and we're so thankful for our community.
Absolutely. So we are going to talk about favorite run, eating, and drinking. We're also going to talk about some of the things that we are looking forward to for 2022, looking ahead.
Oh.
So you want to start talking about some running moments?
Sure. From 2021, I imagine.
Yes.
Well, like we said, we had amazing meetups, and we had amazing interviews. When I think about the very beginning of 2021 and the challenges of recovering from knee surgery for me, I think about the things that kept me most motivated would be, some of the live chats that we had, the coffee chats, the big red couch beer chats.
Yeah.
And also during that recovery time, I was so lucky to be able to connect with Jeff Galloway, with Bart Yasso, with Chris Twiggs, with Amanda Napolitano. There are so many people. The creators of the Clever Cold Brew system, Dennis and Creighton, and these conversations brought us such inspiration and such drive to keep going, especially for me through recovery. And that I can't believe that we crossed time zones to interview Catherine Switzer, the first woman to run Boston as a registered participant with a number. I mean, Catherine Switzer. We saw her, we talked to her from the future, and to return to Anchorage and be able to talk to Bart in person in the same year.
Yeah.
And to talk to Marco Cisetto when we had clearly only talked to him through telephone interviews in the past.
And to think that our first race outside of our state would be the point furthest from our state.
Indeed.
And still be inside of the United States. I never in a million years would have guessed. I would have thought, oh, we're going to just take a quick trip up to Georgia, or Alabama.
It's just outside the state.
Just outside the state.
Just a little further.
We went for it. And likewise, getting to go to Anchorage was incredible. I also loved the fact that we got to do not only a race that we had done in the past, and we wanted to go back and see how it was, how they were doing, post pandemic, but we also forged some new ground as well. And we ended up in the Smoky Mountains. Oh yeah.
Hey, don't discount one of our favorite moments when Marco Cisetto passed you and me and just tapped you on the shoulder crossing the finish line of his half marathon when we finished the 5K up there before we headed to the Smoky Mountains very soon after that.
True.
Yeah. And I really loved the experience in the Smoky Mountains because we got to run a 5K with a member of the Runcation Nation that we got connected to through Jennifer Fink, who is one of our newest patrons now and a longtime supporter of the show. Mm-hmm. So Tina and her first live 5K.
Yeah.
That was
to do that
great.
With her. That was great.
That was amazing. And she's done several since then and caught the bug. And that's just great. Very different and very inspiring experiences throughout the year.
Yeah.
And
without a doubt. And it was also, I mentioned, we got to go back to a race to see, how it was post-pandemic and then try some new stuff. Yeah. And then we got to go back to another. And, we just came off of it. We just completed the Disney Wine and Dine weekend. Mm-hmm. But we also got to return to the race that started it all. Oh, yeah. And we got to go back to the Tampa Beer Run from my hometown. Yes. And we got an opportunity to do that. And I know...
And that was one of my favorite weekends, I think, because it was your hometown. It was our original race. And it was the achievement of the 75 hard for me.
Yeah.
That was just so wonderful. What an amazing weekend.
Yeah, and we certainly couldn't talk about this year without talking about that 75 hard challenge.
Sure.
Or for me, the 140 whatever day challenge.
The endless, it never ends.
Yeah. But, it was just so much to recall and talk about, the various races we did, the need to find ways to stay motivated to run as much as we were running because we were doing the 2-a-day workouts.
Oh yeah.
Was great. But I also think that we would be remiss if we didn't talk about, and we alluded to it a little bit with the Runcation Nation coming and rallying to support us. This is a year that others, did have challenges as well. We unfortunately lost a member of the Runcation Nation this year, and the community rallied to support Rob's family.
Rob Nadeau. Early patron and supporter of the show, called in, left messages for us, contributed.
Friend.
Yes. And everybody came together to support and participate in his virtual race.
Yeah, and to offer words of support and encouragement for Patty and Tori. Mm-hmm. So that was fantastic. We also had a scare when America's coach, our running coach, Jeff Galloway, had a heart attack earlier in the year.
That was so scary.
And the community came together and offered him messages of support and encouragement that
which are still up on our website too.
And he got to read them and hear them. So
and it was incredible, the people that came together.
And that's again, it gets back to your shout out.
Yeah.
It's back to your shout out. I mean, yeah, we did a bunch of runs. Absolutely.
And I will tell you, they came together to help us support Jeff's recovery. Jeff Galloway, our coach, America's coach, a wonderful man. And they also came together to help us raise money for the Donna.
Yeah.
Early in 2021 when they had to go virtual.
They pivoted, and we kept it going and kept the momentum, and that was just another way that we could kind of rally this amazing community to do some good, and we did. And I say we, the Runcation Nation, we did some good, raising funds for the Donna Foundation, and we are looking forward to 2022 when we get to do that race together in person.
We are so excited about that, and everybody who's coming and everybody who will run alongside us virtually when they can't be there. That experience I'm looking so forward to, but I'm so thankful at the same time for the experience that brought us all together and that taught me that I don't ever need to have confetti in the studio ever again.
No. Thou shalt not have confetti in the studio.
No.
Put that on a sign somewhere.
Oh my, no.
So, yeah, I think that we had amazing memories around running. And that's runners, running, races, and the type of people that have gravitated to the community. And we're incredibly grateful for
and I know
everyone.
That we will talk about it early in the new year, but I think there was no better way to end our 2021 than to return to the half marathon distance at Jeff's race, at Jeff Galloway's half marathon in Atlanta.
Yes, and we are going to be discussing the Double G weekend in detail when we come back with our next episode.
Yes.
But stay tuned for more on that. So let's talk eating.
Because all this talk of running has made you hungry?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I know.
I kind of sat down hungry. I'm not going to lie. But,
you know.
I think that it's wonderful when we talk about, things that we did, places that we went, whether it was a new race or a race we had done in the past.
True. That
we wanted to see how it fared with the pandemic. It also was a year where we, I think, brought more recipes and healthful options to the Runcation Nation than we had previously.
Yeah.
So, we had some great options that we were really showing off, and I think that we're going to continue doing that in 22. Yeah. But, whether it was most recently, of course, our holiday food and beverage traditions.
Well, I mean, bread pudding, come on.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You can't go
Eggnog,
wrong.
bread pudding?
Right.
Yes, for the win.
Or if we were doing, things like, vegetarian chili, because we were doing plant-based eating for so much of the year.
Yeah.
But then we also had, some brand new food that was truly amazing.
That was plant-based and also indulgent at different places. So I think we ran the gamut.
We really did.
It was a truly great year as far as food goes. I'm going to tell you, in the indulgent area, the Simon & Seaford king crab legs, I know I've talked about this when we talked about it at Thanksgiving, but that was amazing. That
might have been some of the largest crab legs I've ever seen.
Delicious.
And of course, buttery and tender and everything that you would possibly want from crab legs. Mm-hmm. We also had amazing plant-based options from a food truck that I miss because they've relocated. Mm-hmm. And that was our friends at Wandering Roots.
Yes.
Who did, I think, one of the best plant-based gyros I've ever had.
They did a lot of great plant-based stuff. It was delightful.
But on the opposite end of that spectrum, for a fairly recent episode.
Yeah.
Charlie's Steakhouse.
Well, and let me tell you, I didn't know that one of my favorite, if not one of my favorite thing of the whole entire meal would be a side.
That would be the lobster mac and cheese, I'm guessing.
Oh, my. It was so good. We have an embarrassment of riches as far as steakhouses this year.
We did. I think that there was a recurrent theme. Any chance that we got when we weren't doing plant-based eating,
Yes.
we tended to gravitate towards some classic American steakhouse options.
Yes.
Not that that's a bad thing.
It's not. There were amazing plant-based meals in the mix, too. I think of the 5Ks over the summer at Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I think about Sebastian's Bistro.
Sebastian's Bistro is an excellent option. There's great dining to be had on and around the Disney property.
But also Skipper Canteen. Right?
Yes.
So eating plant-based doesn't have to mean deprivation.
Oh, not at all.
But I think one of my favorites outside is in Orlando, but outside of any kind of theme park. I think that an incredible find, thanks to our friends at Pure Creative Apparel, Pam and Ariel, would have to be Ethos Vegan Kitchen.
Yes, I believe that we've mentioned them a couple of times, whether it's been in episodes or on lives. We've definitely found a place there that is good enough to go, even if you're not purposefully eating plant-based.
Yeah.
So that is absolutely one that I think
The lasagna there is just awesome.
We'll be revisiting them without
My gosh.
any hesitation or doubt in my mind.
Woo! I'm sorry.
But we've also had...
Got so exciting.
It is very exciting. But, and we did mention classic American steakhouses, of course. When we were in Gatlinburg, we had the Peddler Steakhouse, but we also had some amazing barbecue this year.
Ooh. Kojak's.
We were actually able to celebrate their closing of their original location after, I want to say, close to 30 years. And that's also happens to be in Tampa. But we also got to enjoy some amazing barbecue from Bennett's Pit Barbecue.
That was so great that was just
Tennessee.
a stone's throw from our hotel.
Total
Gatlinburg.
accident and fantastic.
And the service was amazing.
Absolutely was.
Great. Right there almost at closing time. That was just stellar. And I've never ever seen deviled eggs that way.
No. Proof that you can fry anything.
Yeah. I mean, come on. And I mean, plant-based buffalo blue cheese Brussels sprouts at the Wine and Dine weekend, was it?
You're talking, yeah. Yeah, that was the Wine and Dine marathon or half marathon weekend. We found some new locations, totally new locations, like Taco Dirty in Tampa. That gives you
loved that.
either plant-based or carnivore options. You can't go wrong there.
Right.
We did get to do some other options when we ran up to Tampa for the beer run. We didn't just have...
well, you had it.
Yes.
I watched you have it.
And that would be for the barbecue from the Sioux Pig barbecue food truck.
I'm not bitter.
So yeah, I mean, we got to indulge in some pretty incredible food throughout the year.
And two of our favorite food trucks coming back after the pandemic. Let me just say.
Yes.
Because I'm in love with Mobsta Lobsta here locally and Viet Yum and Death by Taco.
So 3.
Yeah. Right now, I have to throw it in. Yeah, can't stop myself.
Yeah.
But I love such an amazing lobster feast comes out of a food truck. But then I love the creativity of Skylar at Death by Taco. And I love how hardworking and authentic those classic recipes are from Viet Yum.
100%. I could not agree with you more.
Yeah. Yum. We had a great year, and I'm looking forward to discovering even more in 2022.
Absolutely. Now, since we've explored, let's talk about indulgence. And when we talk indulgence on this show, we typically are talking about beverages.
We are.
And we, again, in spite of...
We're so cheesy. Sorry.
In spite of the pandemic, in spite of limited travel options, we were able to ferret out some amazing options for the Runcation Nation that they could purchase and have at home. And that starts with, a traditional breakfast or brunch.
Oh, I know where you're going. I know where you're going. This was amazing.
Typically, you might have this meal on, say, a Sunday.
Sunday's Bloodies.
Yes.
Oh.
We got to meet the folks over at Sunday's Bloodies.
Colin and Annie.
And we got to actually, do some research.
Oh. It was delightful. It was delicious. They had a vegan option. They had a wide variety, and then they also had garnishes available, and it was quality ingredients and delicious and delightful, and so many of the Runcation Nation had a chance to try it too.
Yeah.
So good. Brunch
now maybe
would be perfect with it.
But maybe not everybody is up for something alcoholic.
So perhaps a coffee-related beverage
Indeed
would be good.
And what better way if again, making coffee at home. We got the opportunity to help the guys out at Clever Bean.
Yeah.
And test out their Clever Bean cold brew brewing system.
Oh, yes.
And taste their cold brew blend.
And drove them crazy with the caramel debate.
Yeah. But, getting to learn about a brewery, or I'm sorry, a roastery and, coffee company that's taking the time to make coffee specific for cold brew.
Right.
And
get the mechanism just right.
And
the
yes,
equipment,
they're working on the mechanism.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've already got the recipe for the coffee dialed in, I think.
Well, yes. It was delightful and delicious, and we were happy to be a part of it.
We also got the opportunity to feature some local breweries this year because, not every week, of course, in a year with limited travel, could we travel? We
do have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to local breweries.
That's because we are trying to persuade all of you in the Runcation Nation to come down here to Southwest Florida.
Indeed.
Hang out with us, visit with us, run with us, eat with us, and drink with us.
So Scotty's Beer Works in Cape Coral, or almost to North Fort Myers.
It's in Cape Coral, but it's on the cusp.
So, I mean, locally, they had a coffee blonde that was amazing.
Yes.
But they also have a red ale.
Their Irish red might be one of the best I've ever had, period.
It's so good.
That coffee blonde you're talking about is killer and does not taste the way you would expect it to taste based on the way it looks.
But I mean, even like in Alaska, I was so happy that we were able to return to Midnight Sun because they have amazing beer.
Midnight Sun Brewing, yes. And then we were also able to discover some new stuff at Anchorage Distilling.
That was awesome. And we had some shipped here.
I was going to say, which is also available to everyone in the 50 states.
I love that.
So worth your time.
So good. And then one of my local favorites also that is actually a brick and mortar restaurant would be Jungle Bird Tiki.
This is one that we discovered after a weekend training run.
Actually, a virtually live run.
Yes.
For the folks from the Will Run 4 podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got to go and explore and indulge at Jungle Bird.
I mean, freaking amazing. Cocktails. Also food, but freaking amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
Traditional and modern twists on tiki cocktails.
Yes. Get the Jungle Bird. Get
the Jungle Bird at Jungle Bird is what you're saying.
We'll get all the cocktails, but have a designated driver. Thanks very much. Everything in moderation, water in between, all the things. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Anyway, you know what I'm saying to you. It was absolutely amazing. Yum, yum, yum.
Yeah, and of course, if you're going, we made mention of Disney earlier for food. You have to make mention of Disney for drink. If you're going to do any of the festivals, you have the option to not only eat your way around the world, but to drink your way around the world.
And we know they're good.
And in terms of both cocktails and craft beer, anybody who is interested in the food and drink aspect of the Runcation lifestyle, a trip to Epcot during one of the festivals is money well spent.
Oh yeah, they highlight local where they can, and they go around the world to get great finds for you. We didn't do a whole lot of beverages at the festivals because we were on the 75 hard, but it's there, and we know it because we've covered it in the almost 5 years we've done this show.
Yes.
So,
and speaking of, during that time, of course, on that 75 hard challenge, we weren't able to enjoy alcoholic beverages during that time. It is important to know that breweries are paying attention and starting to offer better options for people who are seeking maybe the flavor of their favorite style of beer without the alcohol. So you're starting to see better options.
Yes.
In terms of the non-alcoholic beers in your grocer's refrigerator case.
Also, around restaurants with mocktails.
Very much so,
I think that we found that this year.
We certainly did.
A lot of that. Like, there was one that you had at Sebastian's Bistro that was just worthy of adding some rum and going to the pool, or just being at the pool with that beautiful sunset-looking beverage.
Exactly.
So, we have had a variety of great alcoholic beverages, cocktails, beers. I know we still need to get more into wine. I think that we failed our challenge at the beginning of the year, that we said we were going to get more into trying different wine.
So we now have something to add to our list of things we want to do in 2022.
So you said, looking ahead, what are we going to do? We're going to try more wine this year.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to make it happen. And we got plenty of coffee from the Runcation Nation, a variety of amazing coffees from wonderful companies. Black Rifle.
Community Coffee.
Death Wish Coffee. Expedition Roasters.
And that, what's that one? Whoop Ass?
Oh, Jittery Joe.
Jittery Joe's.
Yeah.
Can of Whoop Ass.
Yes.
That's the name of it. Please don't give us an explicit tag, Apple.
That is indeed the name of it. So we...
Oh, and Black Rifle.
I said Black Rifle.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure we didn't skip them.
Yeah, Black Rifle.
And we're still drinking
Death
our way
Wish.
through everything everybody gave us. And Caribou.
And Caribou. Susie sending us some Caribou from your past. What a connection. That's incredible.
Yes.
We've had a lot of amazing beverages to toast, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, caffeinated and non-caffeinated. And it's all been absolutely wonderful.
Agreed. So that's our look back at running, eating, and drinking throughout 2021. What we've been doing. Let's talk about 2022 for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, over the last 4+ years, it'll be, we're going to be coming up on year 5.
June.
Very soon. So believe me, June's going to be here before
we know it.
We are continuing to do things to improve our production of the show, to try to do things better, to bring everybody more of what they love.
I mean, it's been a big year of change in terms of my job and everybody who's been so supportive and patient, and we want to bring more to you and connect more with you over the course of 2022.
Yes.
Now that that's kind of leveling out, hopefully.
Yeah. I think it is now. It seems to be. So, you know, and during this whole pandemic thing, what this really did teach us was, you know, use the opportunities that you're given. And we had the opportunity to connect more with everyone, whether it was through your daily coffee chats that you were doing, our weekly beer chats on the Big Red Couch, the random live streams that we do, the occasional live episodes that we record.
Yes.
So that gave us a chance to do more of those things and kind of incorporate them into what we're doing. And what we're wanting to do in 2022 is bring those things in on the regular. So, you know, we're going to be bringing our live stream back to Wednesdays.
Yay.
And keeping it there.
Yeah.
And then you're bringing coffee chats back on the regular, but you're doing it on the weekend, as
Sunday morning.
Based on what you've told me.
Sunday morning coffee chats. It's looking like Sunday morning coffee chats.
All right. Time to TBD, but
yeah,
we're going to be bringing those back in 2022. We are continuing to do exclusive content for the patrons, and Amy is still, believe it or not, it is not that she's forgotten. She is still working on what to include in additional patronage levels. We think we might have most of that nailed down. So we're hoping to have an announcement early in 2022, probably in the first or second month of the year. Yeah. We'll have something for that. And you're going to see it in the coming weeks, a facelift on runeatdrink.net. We're going to be switching over our back end on the website to give you a little more modern, more up-to-date look. I know that we're currently, every now and then we have an issue or a little minor technical glitch where a little bit won't load. We're going to fix that and get rid of that.
To work that out.
We're going to work that out with our friends over at Squarespace and get that taken care of.
And they're great.
And they are. But we're gonna give it a bit of a facelift and just make it easy for people to find episodes and the stuff that you're wanting to listen to on the go. And then we're going to continue the best we can to grow the Runcation Nation. We want to get as many of you folks that are human beings that like to eat and drink
and run
and occasionally run
so that you can eat and drink.
But I also want to make sure that we really are celebrating every runner, regardless of their, I don't want to call it ability level, but regardless of how fast they do their race.
Why? It doesn't matter.
Everyone from elites to the back of the pack.
Doesn't matter why you run. You could be running for your health. You could be running to honor someone. You could be running for accomplishment. You could be running so that you can eat and drink.
That's us.
Want to celebrate all of you and all the reasons you run, eat and drink.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And we are going to, we do have a couple of races already selected for 2022. We will be doing the 10K at Disney Marathon Weekend in January in just 2 short weeks?
Yeah.
In February, we are looking so forward to returning to Jacksonville, Florida to join several members of the Runcation Nation in running the Donna Marathon Weekend. We will be doing the half marathon. Fingers crossed I'll be able to, and more on that in just a minute. Then we're also
considering Gasparilla.
I was going to say, and that is
next if we're doing chronologically.
And what month is that one in?
It's the end of February. It competes with Princess.
Yes.
Which a lot of the Runcation Nation does. So
we are looking at doing Gasparilla's 8K because it's a distance that we've never done.
Right.
And as much as we have had the opportunity to cover Tampa on the show. Tampa is an amazing city with such a rich food and beverage scene. We've just scratched the surface. So any excuse we can use to get back to Tampa, we're going to do that.
And then in March, it looks like we may be going to the state of Virginia for the first time.
Yeah.
To meet up with perhaps our friends from the Will Run 4 podcast.
And run a race.
There's
that. So we've got...
I believe it's called Shamrock.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've got some stuff planned for the first quarter of 2022. We're looking for that. And we're going to be making big announcements once things are nailed down. And we're excited to share those things with you. But we've got weekly episodes coming to bring you the best running, eating, and drinking we can. And we are looking so forward to sharing some friend time with everybody on Wednesdays and Sundays.
Yes.
So we can just kind of kick back and hang out and just be with our fellow Runcation Nation.
Indeed.
So that's what you got to look forward to in 2022.
And we hope you love it.
We hope so.
Because we love all of you.
So with that...
Well, our next episode will be, like you said, as we start to recap our last race weekend, our last big travel weekend of 2021 with Barb's 5K. That's how we'll kick off the next episode from the Jeff Galloway half marathon weekend in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes. We have so much to share.
Yeah.
What a great weekend of running, eating, and drinking. You guys are going to love what we got for you. And so I'm excited to share that. However, that next episode will be out in 2 weeks. I did manage
Here's why.
I did manage to tweak my knee pretty good on wet pavement and wet leaves in Piedmont Park. And so much so, I had to go to the orthopedist yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Thank goodness.
And get x-rays and all that good stuff. We're not looking at anything surgical, knock on wood, as I knock on my head. So far, we're going to be a pretty good regimen of anti-inflammatories and rest is what I've been directed to do for this. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So during that time, we're going to be doing some of the work on the back end, doing the website stuff, some of the other stuff for Patreon, getting some other things uploaded, and just all the housekeeping that we got to do to be the highly trained broadcast professionals that we are not.
So fancy.
So
fancy.
So 2 weeks, we'll be back with a new episode. We will still have something in the feed, though. You'll see something pop up. It just won't be a full episode. It may be just a flashback.
It could be.
To bring back some of the older episodes, maybe even some of our older video content.
You never know.
So keep an eye out for that.
Well,
I feel like I should be playing Old Lang Syne right now.
yeah, we don't have that on a button on our Rodecaster Pro. So I just want to say thanks so much for listening, for joining us on your long run, your commute to work, around the house, wherever you are. We wish you the happiest and healthiest of New Year's, and we can't wait to resume with you in 2 weeks.
So until then,
I'm your host, Amy.
And I am your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe, stay well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.